TaylorMade released a new driver this year, last year too, and the year before. Each time, a new name, new carbon technology, new launch event. The price? $650. The maximum energy a driver face can legally transfer to a golf ball, exactly 0.830, the same number the USGA set in 1998. That number has not moved since. The full list, starting in 2020. The Sim at $549, the Sim 2 at $529, then the Stealth 2, the Qi 10, the Qi 35, and in 2026 the Qi 4D. 7 launches in 7 years. The names change. The carbon face gets a new generation number. The announcement says this is the most significant improvement in driver technology in years. The price drifts upward from $549 to $650. Then, in 2026, something different happened. That comes later. You have been in this cycle before. A driver comes out in January. The golf media covers the launch. Your playing partner mentions it at the range. You book a fitting, spend a weekend trying to convince yourself the numbers are different, and eventually spend the money. There is nothing wrong with wanting to hit it farther. The question this video answers is what you are actually buying when you do, not the engineering explanation, the physics explanation, and then the business one. Before we get to either of those, one fact from 2025 that the Qi 35 launch video does not include. The best golfer in the world, ranked number 1, paid by TaylorMade, spent the entire season testing the new model. He never put it in the bag for a tournament. We will come back to that. First, the ceiling. In 1998, the United States Golf Association placed a legal limit on how much energy a driver face can transfer to a golf ball on impact. The technical name is the coefficient of restitution, COR. The limit is 0.830. This means that when the face strikes the ball, no more than 83% of the head's energy transfers to the ball. The rest escapes through heat and vibration. Every driver manufactured for legal play since 1998 operates within 0.830. There is no version where TaylorMade, Callaway, Titleist, or anyone else surpasses it. The United States Patent and Trademark Office has published this number in multiple driver-related patents. Titleist stated it directly in their technology documentation. All club makers are working toward the same maximum limit. At the Qi 10 launch in January 2024, a writer named Tim Gavrich covered the event for Golf Pass. His sentence in the published piece read, "With driver face and head technology pretty much maxed out from a distance perspective, TaylorMade's newest release focuses on forgiveness." That was written to explain why the Qi 10 emphasized moment of inertia instead of distance. Read it plainly. The person covering TaylorMade's own launch said the distance technology is maxed out. The Sim in 2020 operated within 0.830. So did the Stealth in 2022. So did the Qi 35 in 2025. The legal box was drawn in 1998, and every driver sold at $549, at $600, at $650 has been built inside it. When TaylorMade says more distance, they mean more distance than you were getting from a badly fitted shaft or an incorrect loft. They do not mean more distance than 0.830 allows. No driver legally can. To understand why TaylorMade releases a driver every year, you need to know who owns TaylorMade and why they own it. In 2017, Adidas sold TaylorMade to KPS Capital Partners, a private equity firm based in New York, for $425 million. 4 years later, in May 2021, KPS sold TaylorMade to Centroid Investment Partners, a South Korean private equity firm, for $1.7 billion. KPS turned $425 million into $1.7 billion in 4 years. 4 times the money. One detail from that 2021 transaction. A South Korean fashion conglomerate called F&F contributed $392 million of the Centroid purchase price. That is more than 23% of the total. F&F has since claimed first right of refusal on any future sale. In May 2025, Centroid confirmed plans to sell TaylorMade. The reported asking price was $3.5 billion. Centroid paid $1.7 billion and wants $3.5 billion back after 5 years. The Golf Digest report from May 2025 confirmed TaylorMade has posted an average annual growth rate of more than 10% in net sales and more than 15% in EBITDA over the past 5 years. Private equity firms generate that kind of return by growing revenue year over year and selling to the next buyer at a higher multiple. The annual release cycle is the revenue mechanism. The engineers are not on a 12-month cycle because the physics of driver design require 12 months. They are on a 12-month cycle because the business model requires it. These are different things. The brand you trust, because TaylorMade's tour players tell you to trust it, is currently for sale to whoever offers the most for the right to continue that cycle. Golf Laboratories, a third-party testing organization, ran a swing robot through multiple generations of TaylorMade drivers in 2025. The robot hit each driver at 9 different impact locations on the face, 54 shots per club, at 95 miles per hour club speed. The results were published by Golf Digest. Key 35 versus Key 10 at the top end of ball speed, 2 miles per hour. At 95 miles per hour club speed, 2 miles per hour of ball speed translates to 6 yards of carry. That is the maximum measurable gain across 1 full year of TaylorMade's development cycle, measured by a machine with no sponsor contract and no stake in the outcome. The Key 4D, the 2026 model, showed a genuine engineering achievement in spin consistency. The Spin Degradation Index, a measurement of how much spin varies across different impact locations, dropped from 430 RPM in the Key 10 to 216 RPM in the Key 4D. Spin variability cut in half across 2 product generations. For a golfer who regularly misses the center of the face, more predictable spin on mishits is a real improvement. It does not add distance. It reduces the penalty when you miss. The test also found something the Stealth 2's 2023 marketing did not disclose. The Stealth 2 HD produced the fastest raw ball speeds of any model in the multi-year comparison. It also produced spin rates ranging from 2,000 to 4,500 RPM across the 9 impact locations. That range is not playable on a real golf course. The fastest driver in the test was also the least consistent. The headline launch monitor number looked good. The complete picture did not. 6 yards between model years. Spin consistency gains that matter for mishits, but not for distance. One generation where the top-line metric improved at the cost of an unstable spin range. That is what 3 years of annual TaylorMade development looks like when a machine measures it without a stake in the result. Now to the fact TaylorMade's Key 35 marketing does not include. Scottie Scheffler is the best golfer in the world. He has been ranked #1 for most of the last 2 years. He is a paid TaylorMade staff player. TaylorMade's entire marketing model runs on the premise that the best players use their equipment, and Scheffler's name is central to that. In 2025, TaylorMade's new flagship driver was the Key35. Scheffler tested it throughout the season. Multiple fitting sessions, multiple head and shaft combinations. He never used it in tournament play, not once. He played the entire 2025 season with the Key 10. The driver TaylorMade had released in 2024 and replaced with the Key 35. With that driver, Scheffler won the PGA Championship and the Open Championship. 2 majors, 15 PGA Tour titles in total, while the Key I-10 was in the bag. His explanation came at the WM Phoenix Open in early 2026 when reporters asked about the equipment situation. His words, "I can be a difficult person to get a club in the bag. I'm a little bit adverse to change as it is, and I have a driver in my bag that's won quite a lot of golf tournaments. I'm not going to put anything in the bag unless I feel it's better." He did not feel it was better. Rory McIlroy completed the career Grand Slam at the 2025 Masters. His driver that week was the Key 10 Dot, a custom version of the 2024 model, not the Key 35, the previous year's. Nelly Korda, the best player on the LPGA Tour, skipped the Key 35 entirely and played the full season with the Key 10. Today's golfer summarized the 2025 season this way. TaylorMade dominated in 2025, but it did so with 2024's driver. If you are finding this useful, subscribe. Every week on this channel, how the golf industry actually works and what the numbers behind the marketing say. The players with the best fitters, the most testing time, and the most to gain from even a marginal improvement chose the model their sponsor had already declared obsolete. That is not a coincidence. That is information. In March 2026, TaylorMade released a documentary on their YouTube channel titled Finding Fast. It is designed as a marketing film for the Key 4D. It is also the most candid document TaylorMade has publicly produced about their own product cycle. The film covers the 2023 Stealth 2. Chief Executive Officer David Abels spoke to camera about it. His exact words, "That was painful. It was painful for me. It was painful for the entire organization. It was the first time we had to deal with true adversity around a product quality issue in our company in a couple of decades. And the reason we got there was because we were pushing so hard to get better. We pushed too far." The Stealth 2 was sold in 2023 at prices between $599 and $630. Reports across the Golf WRX Equipment Forum and the Golf Monthly Forum documented carbon face failures. One Golf Monthly Forum member described a driver that cracked during a lesson, returned to TaylorMade under warranty, and had the claim rejected as misuse before a third-party engineering firm's report supported a manufacturing defect. TaylorMade had sponsored professionals holding the Stealth 2 on camera, calling it the best driver they had ever used. That content remained online when the quality issues emerged. The launch of the Key 10 the following January did not acknowledge that the Stealth 2 had experienced quality failures. The price did not change while those failures were occurring. The documentary was made to sell the next model. It incidentally produced the most honest account of what can happen when a development cycle is 12 months long and the marketing is already paid for before the product failures arrive. In May 2026, TaylorMade announced they were moving from annual driver releases to a 2-year cycle. Brian Basil, TaylorMade's vice president, explained the reasoning to Golf WRX. His language, every year we grind away, it takes us a couple of years to actually make the product from the time we start. To get those little improvements, the differences are becoming a little bit smaller, a little bit harder for consumers to see. 7 years of January launch events. 7 rounds of marketing, calling each one the most significant improvement in years. Now the Vice President is on record saying the improvements are becoming smaller and harder for consumers to see. That is not a competitor's characterization. That is an internal acknowledgement. Basil also confirmed what Scheffler's equipment choices had suggested. On tour adoption. The adoption level is not maybe as rapid as it has been. We're seeing guys hang on to their gamers for previous years. The professionals with the most information are not upgrading. The company's own VP confirmed it. The price moved as well. The QE4D launched at $500. The QE35 LS had been $650. When TaylorMade moved to a 2-year cycle and acknowledged the differences were getting smaller, the price of the new model dropped by $150. If annual releases at $650 were justified by the performance they delivered, the 2-year release at $500 would not need to cost $150 less. In December 2023, the USGA and the R&A made a joint announcement. They had spent 3 years studying distance across the full game. Their conclusion: they would revise the testing conditions for golf balls, effective January 2028 for elite competition and January 2030 for all golfers. They are rolling back the ball, not the driver. The driver's COR was capped at 0.830 in 1998. After 3 years of formal distance study, the 2 governing bodies looked at all available data and determined the instrument contributing to excess distance at the elite level was the ball, not the club. Because the club is already at its legal maximum, there is nothing left to adjust on the driver. The USGA's Chief Governance Officer, Thomas Pagel, stated the expected distance change for the average amateur golfer with a mid-90s swing speed, 5 yards or less with the driver. 5 yards. From a testing body with no financial stake in the answer. The USGA did note they are evaluating possible reductions in driver head size and moment of inertia at the elite level in future rule cycles. That is a forgiveness question, not a distance one. Driver distance has been at its legal frontier since 1998. The Golf Laboratories robot runs every driver at 95 miles per hour on a consistent, ideal path. Real golfers do not swing a consistent, ideal path. The fitting data from that divergence is where the actual performance gains live, and they are not found in the model year. A shaft change on your current driver can shift launch conditions by 200 to 500 revolutions per minute of spin and 2 to 3 degrees of launch angle. The robot tested difference between the Key 10 and the QE35 was 2 miles per hour of ball speed at the top end, on center face contact, with an optimized path. A shaft that is 1 full flex category wrong for your swing costs more than those 6 yards on nearly every shot you hit. The number worth knowing at any fitting is smash factor, the ratio of ball speed to club head speed. The maximum legal smash factor with a driver is approximately 1.5. A well-fitted driver from any major manufacturer, with the correct shaft and the correct loft, will get you near that number on center face contact. The year the head was manufactured does not move that ceiling. If you are at 1.45 smash factor, the path to 1.5 is a fitting and a shaft evaluation, not a new head. If you are already at 1.5, you are at the limit the physics and the rulebook allow. Ask these at your next fitting before spending $650. What is my current smash factor? What shaft am I in and why? And what specifically changes in those numbers with this new head in the same shaft? Those 3 questions produce more useful information than any launch monitor comparison against a mismatched setup. You already knew something was off. The annual cycle has always had a particular quality to it. New name, same price bracket, marketing that sounds like engineering, and 12 months later it starts again. You have felt it before. None of this means a new driver is never worth buying. If your driver is from 2015 and has never been fitted to your current swing, a modern head with a properly matched shaft will give you measurable gains. The fitting accounts for most of that. The model year accounts for very little. If your driver is 2 or 3 years old and was properly fitted, the most defensible use of $650 is a lesson block, a shaft evaluation on clubs you already own, or a set of properly gapped wedges. The driver gets you to the same address as everyone else. The short game determines which room you end up in. The brands you trust in equipment have not always earned that trust for the reasons the marketing suggests. If you want to know how Titleist built the most trusted ball franchise in golf for 25 years without an annual release cycle, that is the next video on this channel.